Welcome to AER Int channel and welcome back to Surface Modeling course. We are nearly at the end of the course now. Now we have two more tools to look at, Freeform and Cut with Surface, and this video covers Freeform. This tool basically just lets us go completely freeform and make whatever shape we want. Let's start a new part and have a look at it. Start a sketch on the top plane. Sketch a center rectangle at the origin. And make it say 200 millimeters wide and 100 high, and then select the planar surface. And we should just have a flat rectangular surface like this. Freeform can be found here on the Surfaces tab. Let's select it. And first it looks like this. There's tons of options, but the principle is quite simple really. All we're going to do is add control points to the face we want to change, and then we can drag those points around, and that will deform the shape of the surface. First we have to select the surface, so let's select this one we've just made, and then we'll see grid on the surface like this. We can also choose the face of the solid body. It doesn't have to be a surface just on its own. So as I said, we'll use control points to deform the surface, but first we need to add what are called control curves. These are basically lines that crisscross the surface, and then we can place the control points on these curves. So let's click here, control curves. Let's click add curves, and we should see we've got a green line that follows the mouse. I'm going to left click to add a line here, and then another one on the side somewhere about here. We can also press flip direction, and that will spin the line around 90 degrees. Let's add another line about here, and then another one about here. So we've now got 4 control curves that cross the surface. We can then place control points on these curves. So let's go over here, let's choose add points, and then let's hover over those control curves we just made. And we see when I do hover over it, we've already got some control points on there, where the control curves intersect with each other. But we can add more points. Let's just add maybe a few like here and here. If we go onto another control curve, the first curve's points will disappear. They are still there, they're just not visible anymore. So let's add a few more control points like this, and then we can click the button again to stop adding new points. We can now select any of these control curves. We can choose one of the points. We can click on it and we can drag it around to deform the surface. We can use the right arrows to drag it around, and we see as we do, it changes the shape of the surface like this. We can go up or down, left or right, any direction. We could say get this one and move it down like this. And we can see it's a very powerful way of deforming the whole surface like this. And this blue plane that we can see is basically the midpoint or the starting point of the face. So we can see if you look underneath, we've got some parts of the surface that are now below it, and on the top we've got some parts that are raised above it. So when we select the lines and then the control points, we can drag the control point directly around, or we can use the arrows, or we can adjust the value down here on the left. If we set a value of 0 down here, it just moves the control point back to the original location. So take a little bit of time, have a play around with those control points, and see what kind of shape we can make. And when we are happy, we can press OK. And now we have that new freeform surface. And hopefully we can see potentially this is a very powerful way of modeling. I'm now just going to delete that first freeform surface. We'll create a new one so we can have a look at some of the options of the tool. So now we've just got that flat plane again. I'm going to choose freeform again. I'm going to choose that face again. So the first option we can use is that we can make the face symmetrical. So we can go symmetrical in direction 1 or direction 2. I'm going to choose direction 2. So the face will now stay symmetrical about this gray plane in the middle. So if we now add a control curve, say here, and then we add a control point, like here, then we've automatically got the same point on the right hand side, and whatever I do to this one on the left will also automatically be done to the one on the right. So if I drag this one up now, we can see the one on the right also moves. So this is a really good way to make our surface completely symmetrical. If we didn't have this symmetric option, it would be really difficult to make our surface symmetrical. Another option we can change is from true points here to control points. this joins the control points with these polygon lines. And basically it just gives us a little bit of a different visualization of how the points are linked together and how our surface is being made. Next, we can change the direction of the coordinate system here. So we're currently on natural. We can change it to user defined. When we change it, it will clear any control points that we already have. And then we can rotate the direction to whatever we want. So I'll just add a few more curves and points back in. Say here, just so we can see the next options. And then say let's pull up this control point like this. So these options, the triad orientation, that adjust where the triad arrows are pointing. We can see as I go through the options. It changes exactly where the arrows are pointing. That will help us control the triad a little bit more accurately if needed. And then the options down here at the bottom are all just visual really. We've got things like the mesh preview, the zebra stripes, the curvature comps, and so on. If we want to use the zebra stripes, it doesn't always show directly within the tool here. It seems to be a bit of a graphics glitch. So instead we can make the feature first, and then check the zebra stripes later by going to the Evaluate tab and pressing zebra stripes. And basically when the stripes are close together, it means we've got more of a gradient on the surface. Then I'll just turn off the zebra stripes and I'll go back in and edit that freeform feature again. And then finally, we've just got these edge options. These allow us to control how the surface joins the edge around it. So we're currently on contact. If I change this to tangent, we see it changes the shape around the area. It now means that the surface is joining the edge tangent, so it's going to be flat when it joins the edge. So we have those different options, and we can choose whatever suits our model the best. So that is the freeform tool. It's potentially a very powerful one. What we do is select the surface. This can be the face of a solid or a separate surface. Then we add those control curves, which are lines along the surface. Then we add control points on those curves, and we can drag those around or adjust the values and use those to deform the surface. At this stage, let's just save the surface, as we'll also use it in the next video, which is the last tool, and it's cut with surface. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you like. I hope it can be a little helpful and useful.